Just started. Oh. Alright guys, we're back at part 2. This way, come here.
Hi guys, have you lighting please?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to work that shoulder right behind you.
Alright guys. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. Safari time. Oh, the pug shoot. Is
Drop off the shore, loading docks. We'll say like around 10-ish minutes, hopefully.
If you don't make the noise, then she can't make the noise.
Please line up behind that person, allowing them to lead the group through the gate at the end of the road. As you approach the loading platform, please note that it is divided into 2 distinct zones. The area with handrails is the loading zone, also Zone 1 is
30 miles an hour.
Zone 2 is the As you move out into Zone 2, please note the 4 circles at the feet in each row of the zone. Each row will collectively see 4 circles. Children may be seated next to or on the left of their parents, or on the adults. As the group ahead of you holds the safari truck, you may follow them. Loading area. You want the truck is to read seaters during the safari.
Pick either side, friends. Doesn't matter which side.
Not this fast. Ooh, alright, so we might check that out.
So, now. Sylvie, now. Get down. Get down.
Alright, thank you, Toby.
Oh, nice. All right, we're gonna wait.
Remember, guys, the left lane is always quicker than the right. Check out those. I feel like those are hats. They look like hats, guys. They do look like hats. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna like in the middle. Oh, 1 and 2
Row 2.
Experience bumps and sudden changes.
We're gonna get our adventure started. Alright, doors closed. All clear.
Asante Sana Morgan. As we stay here, Cafe is
Oh wow, Toby.
Bienvenidos a Kilimanjaro Safari. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados, mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Incline sus sillas.
Karabuni. Karabuni means welcome in Swahili, so welcome aboard everyone. Please watch your step as you're climbing in. Just a heads up, please make sure you like the seat you're getting now, because once we start moving, we cannot have any seat swapping. So you have to have your final seat selection locked in right about now. For anyone sitting on the right, please watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. The doors next to you are sliding closed.
You see some animals?
If you look up above you, you guys are going to see some animal spotting guides. Those will help us identify any animals you may see out there on the reserve today. We're probably not going to see everything up on the guide, but we usually do get pretty lucky, so we're going to try our best to find as many as we can once we get going here. Asante Sana work, which means thank you very much in Swahili. As we say here in Harambe, Twende, which means let's go. Tom Drama folks, my name is Brett, one of your safari guide out onto the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. But before we head out, I've got a very short but very important safety reminder for everyone, so please listen up. At all times, it's critical that everyone remains fully seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside this truck. This applies to our little ones on board as well, so parents, please keep an eye on those kids, make sure they're not standing. Kids, watch your parents too, make sure they don't stand up either. Lap sitting for small children is permitted. However, lap standing is not. So, if you have a child in your lap, please make sure they're staying fully seated on their bottom at all times. This also means you cannot lift your kids up into the air to get a better view, and you cannot pass your children from person to person up and down the rows. Unfortunately, it just gets too bumpy out here for that to be a safe thing to do. We already talked about the spotting guide. Oh, if anybody drops anything while we're out there today, let me know as soon as it happens. I can't jump out of the truck to get whatever you dropped for you. You can't jump out either. However, I do have a handy-dandy radio up here, which I can use to get in contact with the folks working out on the reserve. We're going to try our best to retrieve that item for you by the end of the day. Just keep in mind, whatever it is you drop is probably not going to end up looking like it did when you dropped it. So hold on nice and tight to your stuff. We're next to head out. We're going to be starting our safari in the Little Interior Forest part of the reserve. Most of the animals living here rely more on camouflage rather than speed or agility to avoid predators. They're also going to be very shy and sensitive to sound in this area especially. So we want to try to be as quiet as we can be. Keep a very careful lookout in bushes or behind trees for the animals. This stuff up there to the left. So trying to go a little bit closer before we talk about it. If you look way out to the right on the hill, there's a big brown animal with black and white striped legs. That's called an okapi. Now, okapis, despite having zebra-like stripes, are actually the closest living relatives to giraffes. Some of the traits they share in common with giraffes are their fairly long necks, long prehensile tongues, and adult male okapis will have bony protrusions up on top of their heads called ossicones. Off to this left side, you see actually two different types of antelope. So the kind of copper brown colored ones are called bongo. They get the nickname the ghost of the forest because they're usually hidden a lot better than that. They use that beautiful camouflage they've got to almost disappear right in the foliage around them. There's also the tan colored antelope back in behind the bongo with the big ears. That was a kudu. See another kudu coming up this way as well to the right side of the road. Here too. But these kudu, we can tell are all female. That's because they don't have horns. Similar to deer, only males of the species will have headgear. And the horns of male kudu get very long and impressive, about 6 feet long, spiral beautifully backwards. If you look up at the spotting guide on the left and right edges, you see a depiction of what a male kudu would look like with his awesome horns. Ooh, speaking of horns, take a look across the water to our left. You see a black rhinoceros laying down taking a nap. This is about the 2 species of rhino found here on the reserve. They're a little bit smaller and a lot less social than their white rhino cousins. They're typically solitary, although sometimes their ranges do overlap. Unfortunately, back in 2015, due to poaching for their horns, there was an estimated less than 5,000 of them left in the whole world. Thankfully, since then, their numbers have almost doubled due to conservation efforts. That is a step in the right direction. There's still plenty of work to be done for them and many other endangered animals around the world. Coming up off to the left side, see a big black and white bird crouched down. There's a saddle. It's actually a mated pair of them here. So the one down by the water is the female. We know it's her. She has bright yellow eyes. The male is a little bit farther back. He has dark brown eyes. They are a mated pair, so they will stay together for life. But that's nothing for us in the interior forest. Now we're off to the next part of the reserve called the Safi River Valley. Most of the animals in this upcoming area will be either aquatic or semi-aquatic. So let's head down to the water's edge and have a look, see what we can find. First things we're seeing are some big white birds nesting down on the island in the middle of the river called pink-backed pelicans. They get the name pink-back from the pink coloration they get on their backs during the mating season. They're what's called a colonial nesting bird, which means when they build their nests, they build them all in one little spot, kind of all on top of one another. Colonies have been known to get to 500 birds total, or roughly 250 nests. Some of the largest colonies can be estimated about 2 birds per nest. Now, some of you sharp-eyed folks might have noticed the hippo tucked back in behind the pelicans. It was a really tough angle, so if you didn't see it, I don't blame you. I'm hoping we'll get better looks at hippos up this way a little bit. This whole stretch of river here is a hippo sanctuary, so keep your eyes peeled. It'll be kind of difficult to predict where hippos will resurface. You can hold their breath for quite a while. The word hippopotamus comes in English via Latin. The Romans got it from the ancient Greeks. It's a 2-part word. Hippos means horse. Potamos means river. Put them together, you got hippopotamus or river horse, which is an appropriate name because hippos typically, instead of swimming along the surface of the water, will sink down to the bottom of the river and run or walk along the bottom, kind of like a horse would on land. Some waterfalls come on up where they like to hang out. Yep, and that's where they are. Just make sure we're staying fully seated, please. Thank you. There's some hippos down there by the waterfalls. You really just see the tippy tops of their backs. If you're not getting a good look at the hippos, don't worry. I have a place to send you after the safari where you can get face-to-face with them. So we're going to keep it rolling. Sometimes just upstream of these waterfalls, we'll see Nile crocodiles down in this ravine. Gotta look really carefully. Nile crocodiles use their camouflage for hunting, actually. They're an ambush predator. They'll hang out just by the water's edge usually, with only their eyes poking up above the surface. Once an animal's within range, they'll launch up out of the water, snag that animal, drag it under, and eat it. But I did not see any crocs that time, so we're going to keep it rolling. But Nile crocs can get pretty big. They're going to average around 16 feet long. With certain exceptional individuals have been recorded over 20 feet long, if you believe that, putting the species in contention to be one of the largest reptiles in the world, and certainly the largest reptile in Africa. We've made our way out of the Sambi River Valley. We're about to head down onto the savannah. Before we do, though, real quick, I want to point out this big, gnarly-looking tree coming up off to the right. This is an African baobab tree, or Addissonia digitata. It's the scientific name. They got some pretty cool nicknames as well. One of my favorites is the Tree of Life. Now, they get the nickname the Tree of Life because during the dry season, a baobab tree like this one is a vital source of water for many animals found on the savannah. Animals like elephants, for example, can come along, gouge a hole in the side of the tree with their tusks, and then be able to access the moisture inside. A tree that size could potentially hold thousands. It may not be a differentiate reminder. We cannot be swapping seats because that does involve standing, which is not allowed. Clean spot edges. This is a big male giraffe, just about as big as a giraffe's going to get. He's up in an 18 to... Coming up off to the left side, we are approaching an area where we've had some recent reports of a pack of African painted dogs hanging predators like leopards or lions, but we're in luck. See the tree? Look to the left of the tree, you see a bush. At the base of that bush, see two painted dogs taking a nap there in the shade. Now these painted dogs are oftentimes confused with hyenas. They're not very close related to hyenas at all though. More close related, say, foxes, wolves, or jackals. They're in the canine group, whereas hyenas have their very own taxonomic group distinct from canines and felines called Hyenidae. Coming up off to the left, we see some beautiful Hartman's mountain zebra. They get the name mountain zebra from their tendency to like to hang out at higher elevations, like in mountains, for example. One of the best ways to differentiate this species of zebra from others is by looking at their bellies. Mountain zebras got a white underbelly. Other kinds of zebra have stripes wrapped all the way around their bodies. There's also
look at that other one.
Behind the zebra. Those are sable antelope.
He had his teeth out with the tongue. That was funny. Oh my gosh. Post that up, Mom. They don't leave. They just walk around there, huh?
We'll get another look at that big male giraffe we saw when we first came down the hill. Take a look up on top of his head. Actually, any of the giraffe's heads here. On top, you see two knobs. These are the ossicones I mentioned very briefly back when we saw the okapi. It's one of the traits that giraffes and okapi share in common. Now, these ossicones are not true horns. They're more like a solid, bony lump fused to the skull, covered with skin and fur. A true horn, on the other hand, is a bony core surrounded by a keratin sheet on the outside. Keratin is the same stuff that makes up your hair and your fingernails. Out on the plains, we see some small little antelope. They got orange backs, a black stripe down the belly. They're for their mascot, South African springboks.
This one's near the door.
You also see a baby giraffe out to the right side there. He was born out here a little over a year ago now, and he was born already being 6 feet tall. By now, he's going to be well over double that height, so he's grown quite a bit. He also had to learn how to stand up, walk, and run only a few hours after being born to keep up with her, his mama. Out to the right, we see some gray-colored animals. They're another type of animal. You could also call them gnu. It's spelled G-N-U, not N-E-W. They get that name from the mooing, grunting sound they make. Sound like this and roll. You also see some Ankole cattle up on the hill with the big horns. Also called Watusi cattle, named after the Watusi people of Africa who first domesticated them. Elephants. Elephants are like the bulldozer of the savannah. They'll come through and knock over trees so they can eat leaves on top. By doing this, elephants limit the amount of trees that grow in the savannah, thereby maintaining it as a grassland. Elephants and their habitats, we can protect the ecosystem function as a whole. And there's a very large elephant off to the right side there that looks to be a bull or male elephant. He's noticeably larger than the female or cow elephants who live here on the reserve. Second way we can tell he's a boy is he's here by himself. Bull elephants are usually solitary, whereas the cows or girls, they have the right shoulder. We'll stop right about here-ish. There he is.
What? Elephant.
He's huge. He's looking over.
We are still deep in the heart of elephant country, so let's keep it going. I got a good feeling we'll be able to find more elephants. Might not be too far away. Just have to wait and see. That's a good sign. Check out the cliff walls on either side of us. You see some odd markings in the clay. These markings are made by elephant tusks. Elephants will come down to the clay pits to eat the clay. Gives them vitamins and minerals they need for their diet. Sort of how like you or I might take a multivitamin.
You like the ride? You like the ride?
You see some cow elephants way out in the distance. See if we can get as close as we can. The herds of cow elephants are led by the oldest and wisest cow in the group called the matriarch. She has the knowledge of where to find the best food, where the best watering holes are, which migration routes to take, things like that. She'll pass this knowledge down from mother to daughter, generation to generation. It's likely that elephant herds have used the same places and the same ways to get from place to place for hundreds if not thousands of years. Quite so imperative when protecting elephants, we not only protect key habitats, but also connections between habitats or habitat corridors, so that herds of elephants can continue to move around landscapes, finding enough food and water to sustain themselves, as well as maintaining genetic diversity across their population. It's critical to their continued existence on this planet. Look at the wildebeest out to the right side here. Coincidentally, they're also the palest pink of any flamingo species. They have this color for the food they eat, very rich in a vitamin called beta-carotene. This beta-carotene in their diet over time will build up flamingos. Very fancy. One last look at the elephants before we head out of elephant country. Now we're entering the scrubland part of the preserve. This area is kind of like the savannah, a lot more trees and bushes. First thing of note we're seeing is that big mud wallow out in the clearing in front of us. Good sign we could be getting close to the other type of rhino that lives on the preserve, the white rhinos. All types of rhino love to roll around in mud. It's going to keep them cool on hot days, protect their skin from getting sunburnt, and let the mud dry in their skin and scrape it off on trees, rocks, or logs. By doing this, rhinos can remove any skin parasites they may have on them, like ticks or mites, as well as any dead skin. In fact, if you look carefully, a lot of the trees, rocks, and logs in this clearing are all caked on with mud. It's a very good sign there was some recent rhino activity in the area, so keep our eyes peeled for them. Way out to the right there, you see kind of a shaggy brown colored animal. It's another antelope species called the water buck. Also, you can see an ostrich by the driver's side door of that pickup truck way out there. Ostriches are, of course, the largest birds in the world. They hold another world record you might not be aware of. They're the fastest running animals on two legs. That bird can run in excess of 35 miles an hour, hitting speeds of up to 43 for short bursts, which is impressive considering ostriches only have two toes. Look like boulders, kind of. Looks like. Up on the hill to the left, you can see the fastest land animal in the world. There's a cheetah laying down up there in the shade. The cheetah's top speed is up over 60 miles an hour. I think it's more impressive than African lions. Big cats, not unlike house cats, also love high spots. Copies like this one give lions a great vantage point when you get up nice and high and keep an eye out for prey. So we'll work our way around the copy, make sure to look at all the nooks and crannies of the rock. Lions could be anywhere up there. See a lioness way left. We know he's a male lion. Of course, he's got that mane. You also estimate his age based off the color of his mane. Mane is still very blonde. It will darken as he ages and almost black when he's real old.
Oh, there he is.
These lions are doing what they do best, just lying around. Lions will spend 18 to 20 hours out of the day just to do most of their hunts. They hunt that Simba. May sound familiar. But we're going to keep on.
Ooh.
Look through this dead bush. Way in the back there, you can see one laying down. It looks like a fuzzy rock. Now, warthogs, being members of the pig family, are rather intelligent animals, all things considered. One really smart thing they'll do is when they enter the burrows, instead of going in head first, a lot of times they're going to back in instead. So the sharp tusks face the entrance of the tunnel, used for home defense should the need arise. Get another look at the water buck coming up off to the right side. That ostrich we saw was kind of fun. Male ostriches are dark black. In fact, I can show you some of her eggs. Have a look off to the right here on the ground. See some ostrich eggs. Ostriches being the world's largest birds will, of course, lay the biggest eggs of any bird. Those eggs are about 3 pounds apiece, containing the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs. She can lay her eggs on the ground like that, not have to worry about them too much. We're going to head off the reserve now, make our way back to the Harambe village. On our way out, we'll slip past the warden's post. Here we got Glen. allow me to show you some of his Nigerian dwarf goats. The warden keeps goats for two main reasons. Number one, they're a very economic and environmentally friendly way to get the lawn nice and trim. Number two, provide the warden with a very delicious, nutritious milk to be sold off to provide the warden with additional income. For Safari today. But before I let you go, I want to remind you we all have a part to play in protecting wildlife and wildlands. Simple things we all can do are things like life and wildlands. Simple things we all can do are things like properly recycling our paper products and our electronics. As logging and mining for precious metals are two of the bigger contributors to habitat destruction worldwide. So by properly reusing resources instead of chucking them in a landfill, we can help reduce the need to extract more, and therefore hopefully protect more habitat for the animals in the long run. If you want to see more animals, I'd recommend checking out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Just a short walk where I'm dropping at hippos and okapis. See a different type of zebra called the Grevy's zebra. You can see meerkats, naked movies, zebra. You can see meerkats, naked mole rats. I walk the bird aviary, monkeys, and more. Additionally, over the Asian section of the park, there's another walking trail. Just like the Gorilla Falls Trail is fully stroller and wheelchair accessible. Instead of African animals, you'll find Asian animals. If you want to see Sumatran tigers, Komodo dragons, giant fruit bats, Asian water buffalo, another walk the bird aviary, and even more monkeys called lion's-tailed macaques. You can head over there and check that out as well. It was also a great time to have a look around yourselves, make sure you didn't lose anything. It got pretty bumpy. Things will wiggle their way out of your pockets if you're not careful.
The workers saying cool.
Alright folks, our time together day is over. In parting, I've got one last week. Come on, get your badge up the trail that way with the Senior Wilderness Explorer.
Jacob, I'm okay right now.
Bye.
Thank you. No, I mean, the zebras are really funny, huh? Oh!
Is it cute?
Yeah. You can exit out this way. Yeah. Nugget Lane Shores right here. Nugget Lane Shores. Alright guys, we are walking out of the safari ride. Ready?
Next again. When I'm dead.
Bye, have a good one.
That's it. Open.
Yeah, we gotta put the strap back. Come on, guys.
one is fine.
Alright guys, I'm about to go eat, and I'll see you guys in the